Hello and welcome to our video series offering information for Indigenous business during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm Terri Janke from Terri Janke & Company, lawyers and consultants. We are working with Indigenous Business Australia and 33 Creative to support Indigenous business during these unprecedented times. In this video, I'll be focusing on managing finances and cash flow. Supply chains are likely to go haywire during the coronavirus pandemic. Indigenous businesses will be impacted by the disruptions to their work. For instance, consultancy businesses will not be able to travel or facilitate meetings. Speaking events are postponed. Tourism, customer-facing businesses and cafes will be closed down. This will impact cash flow. So, how do you stay afloat or make difficult decisions during this crisis? The focus should be on the next 3 to 6 months. Now is the time to review and adjust your business cash flow budgets. This means taking a hard look at your likely income and your expenditure. One, reduce costs where possible. During the coronavirus crisis, it is imperative to reduce costs by reducing unnecessary expenditure. This is about cutting out the non-essential overheads. This takes an honest look at each line item and whether it can go on in the next 6 months. Here are some tips. Get out of unnecessary subscriptions. When purchasing stock, only purchase what you need. Have a look at your staffing capacity and see if you are paying salaries that aren't showing a return to your business. These are hard conversations to have, but critical if your business is to survive. Individuals and business owners will have an ongoing obligation to pay fixed costs like tax, rent, and phone bills. However, you can contact the debtor to see if there is any flexibility to hold off the payments or reduce it. Identify the people you owe money to and find out whether there is any flexibility. Speak to your landlord about the rent. Contact your telecommunications and internet providers about options. Speak to your bank or IBA, Indigenous Business Australia, about repayment of loans. Speak with your suppliers and seek deferrals. Contact the ATO to discuss your tax repayments. Speak with your investors. Review your ability to defer and negotiate these costs and determine if they are essential. Thirdly, get paid faster. Encourage clients and customers to pay early. For example, invoice as soon as the service or product is delivered, follow up on slow-paying customers or clients, and regularly review contracts with customers to determine if they can cancel orders or back out of the services. Seek payment extensions with creditors. Review supply contracts and see if you can cancel orders, or contact your landlord and ask for payment extensions or possible rent reductions. Keep on top of tax obligations. For example, enter into payment deferrals and change quarterly GST reporting cycles to monthly to get quicker access to GST refunds. The ATO is offering various packages to support businesses. Consider if you can defer any payments and identify options to accelerate refunds. Check out the ATO website for available support. Speak to your bank about whether you can defer payments. The 4 big banks are offering this. When doing this, consider the long-term implications. Do you have any options for accessing credit? For example, discuss with your bank the ongoing availability of credit. Be careful of scams, but if you do take credit, be aware of the repercussions. Don't act in haste and have your head switched on. Once again, it's important to ensure that you only activate these solutions when your business needs it. You may need to reduce staff, but what is the minimum number of staff you need to manage the business? Discuss with your team the options for taking any leave owing, and they may be able to take time off during the downturn. You will need them once the crisis is over, so keep them close and keep them informed about what's happening when they are away from the office. The Fair Work Act allows employers to stand down their employees in response to major emergencies, but there are very strict guidelines for this. Those businesses that meet the strict requirements may be in a position to stand down their employees by putting them on leave. But it is important to get advice about whether you meet these strict conditions. You don't want to risk any action against you for unlawful work stoppages. If it is a legitimate stand down, you need to document your decisions, let the employee know, set a date even though there is uncertainty now. It is best to have open communications with employees. Let them know as soon as possible if there are any difficulties so you can workshop options together. Check the details of awards with the Fair Work Commission at fairwork.gov.au and get legal advice on the employment contracts and awards, and know your obligations. If rent is going to be a problem, we recommend you review your lease agreement and look at the terms to see if you can exit the premises. But be aware that just walking out does not stop the obligation to pay rent. You will have to talk to the landlord. It might be possible to discuss with your landlord options for urgent relief, like deferring rent or part payment for a certain period. See what you can work out. Businesses have the opportunity to review their business plans in light of the coronavirus. What might need to be innovated and what might be opportunities in terms of product development? Consider alternative ways to make money. For example, if you had a business that relied on face-to-face workshops, how about considering how you might offer webinars or telephone advisory services, or build e-commerce opportunities and create an online marketing strategy? There are a number of stimulus packages and other programs aimed at assisting businesses to weather the coronavirus storm. These include boosting cash flow for employers, increasing the instant asset write-off, and backing business investment. Boosting cash flow for employers is extremely important. Eligible businesses, including not-for-profit organisations, sole traders, partnerships, companies or trusts, will be provided with a tax-free cash flow boost of between $10,000 and $50,000. See the ATO site for the eligibility criteria. IBA loans and support services are available. To find out more, go to iba.gov.au. States and territories are also offering packages, so check the jurisdiction restrictions and go look at their websites. Accessing credit at this time needs careful consideration. Remember, you still have to pay them back. Also, be wary of the terms of some of the quick loans that might have high interest repayments once things are on track again. Get advice, look at the terms, be careful to consider the long-term impact of any course of action you might need to remedy once you've reduced cash flow. Be careful to consider the long-term impact of any course of action you take. For example, getting an early release of superannuation might give you cash right now, but what are the lasting impacts of this lost nest egg? More information about this can be found at the Australian Tax Office website, ato.gov.au. So in summary, examine your cash flow, considering carefully what's coming in and what's going out, reduce your debts if possible, enter into early discussions with banks, landlords and suppliers, do your due diligence when it comes to further loans, what can you service once on track, see if you qualify for any stimulus packages or any other assistance, make sure your tax payments are up to date so you can access employer cash flow benefits, be open and transparent with staff if you need to reduce staff costs, and only stand off if you are legally entitled to. Get legal advice. So these are going to be very difficult times, but remember, we are all in this together, and we all need to plan for the worst, but hope for the best. This means being aware of the potential pitfalls so that you can avoid making rash decisions that will have long-term impacts beyond getting through this current crisis. You'll need to consider what contractual obligations you have and what rights you have in terms of existing work in the pipeline. To watch more of these videos and find out more and keep up to date on the latest information, go to the IBA website, iba.gov.au. We hope you find this information useful, and remember, together we can work towards a solution. This will not be the end of us. Keep going strong.